A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be looking at Carpro HydrO2 foam, which is a one-step wash and coat. So it falls into that ceramic shampoo category. pH neutral, hydrophobic, durable up to 3 months, enhances gloss and slickness. Instructions, so you can put it in a foam lance. That's how we're going to be using it in this video. Work in the shade, rinse vehicle thoroughly. I've actually washed the vehicle and it's wet at the moment. Dilute 1 to 9, close the foam gun valve completely. Open the foam gun valve to its full setting. Apply HydrO2 foam all over the vehicle. Immediately wash with a wash mitt and rinse thoroughly. I've kind of washed my car, but I suppose I should follow the instructions. Then you've got directions, so you can put this in a bucket and the same sort of thing. You could dilute it 1 to 9 in the bucket and go through and wash your car with it. Some precautions there. Don't use it in the sun because it may streak. I like it when they say that. In such cases, apply foam to a wet microfiber and wipe it. Yeah, a bit of contact, a bit of wetness to get off the streaking if it dries. Recommend iron skin protection. I've spotted another typo there. Keep out of reach of children. Store in dry place. It should be keep out of reach. And obviously, that ratio there for the bucket can't be correct, because if you're using it at 1 to 9, if you've got 5, let's say if you've got 10 litres of water, you've got to use 1,000 ml of product. You only get 500 ml, or in half a litre. So really, you'd use 500 ml with 4.5 litres. Your whole bottle will be gone. You'd only have 5 litres in your wash bucket. So I think that's a mistake there, or an oversight. Or if they really do want you to use it at that ratio, you'd have to use a tiny little bucket, mix down 1 litre with like 100 ml, but it wouldn't really be enough to contact wash your car with. So that was the reason this product slipped up in my best ceramic test. And you can go and watch that video where we compare it. And I go through and do all the market analysis on price and cost per wash. And it slipped up there because of that. But a lot of you were saying in that video, you need to use that in a snow foam lance, which is fine, but only 5 products in that ceramic shampoo, I think, off the top of my head, could be used snow foam application, where all 12 of them, all 10 of them, whatever, could be used to wash the car as a ceramic shampoo. So when we're comparing them, we have to compare them in a legitimate way. So, but in this video, I am going to just put it over on the snow foam lance. So in here, I've got 100 ml of product to 900 ml of water, which is 1 to 9, and we're ready to go. And I'm hoping I get a better user experience, because, yeah, it was a shame. Typos on instructions are a big problem for me, or mistakes on instructions are a big problem for me, because I'm supposed to follow the manufacturer's instructions or I get into trouble. I learned that like 10 years ago. I started learning that. You can't just use it how you want if that's contrary to the instructions on the product. So I try and read those instructions and follow them. And then whatever I'm getting, at least I followed the instructions, you know what I mean? But some of you guys, some of the comments around this were you'll get better results if you use it in a lance, which is actually fine, because you probably will. But some of the comments were along the lines of, oh, everyone knows you can't use that as a contact wash shampoo. It's not supposed to be used that way. Well, it says on the label, hand washing, it says it on the label. So you're wrong when you say things like that. And I question criticism like that, because it's so wrong. If it didn't say on the label, then that's fair criticism. But when it says specifically, and I'm showing you the label of the product and reading it and following the instructions, for you to then say that I'm doing it wrong because I'm not following the instructions, or it shouldn't be used that way, you're making that up in your head. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's always resistance to any criticism. And I always question that. When I look at the quality of it, and it's always low quality. It's based on, I don't know, it's based on smoking something. Whatever it is, I want some of it. And I just want to show you, so the car's been washed and it's rinsed off. We've got a good level of hydrophobicity on the bonnet. That is the SI Ramix. I don't know, somewhere between 1 and 2 months old. It's slowed down a little bit, but it's still going really well. The rest of the car, like there's bits with nothing on it. Well, very little. I haven't put the product on here, I only put it on the bonnet. So some of the cars got nothing, you know. So I'm hoping I'll get a good boost to that and it'll all be a bit more zingy. That's what I want. That's what I want for this product. I will just go over it with the mitt because it says to, but I won't go mad because I've already cleaned the car. Although I didn't do the best job, but let's not talk about that. Oh shit, don't look at the wheels, I nearly fell on my arse then. Trod on the something slimy, like a banana skin. Right, let's go. Let's see what it feels like when it goes on the panel. The car's got a bit of water on it. This is quite rich. At 1 to 9, that's pretty good. Obviously not foaming up, but it's not a pre-wash. It's a ceramic shampoo. That must be pretty concentrated to give me that sort of film. And you can't also say we haven't used enough product here because that looks like we're putting loads on. You could definitely use a lot less, couldn't you? Fan out the... You know, look at that. So, that's a good film of it over there. I just want to grab the bottle. So we've sprayed it on. It's cool. All over the vehicle. Immediately wash with a mitt and rinse thoroughly. Yeah, so good. No problems there. Don't let it dry, basically. I suppose you'd be cleaning the car at this point, wouldn't you? God, this is going to be a turbo clean. Let's do this side first. It's a real turbo clean. Just done this. What's it like on glass? It's kind of nice and slidey. Feels like a good, rich product. I clean this car like an absolute clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't look at that bit. Yes, you will hear me breathing. Right, missed loads of bits. Whatever, it doesn't matter, it's already been washed. So, let's rinse this off now. Oh, sugar, let me drop the doodah. Right, we're in. Let's hope to get some beading. Oh yeah. Nice. Nice. Bit of beadage going on there. Gonna get it all off. Someone's gonna tell me to rinse from the bottom. Always get that. So the bits that had protection on them have got a bit of zing. The bits that were completely dead are more like sheety. It's much better though. It's revived that bonnet a bit. Oh, it's kinked. Get out of there. Never do that. Just give the glass a really good rinse. Because if it does leave any films, that's where you're going to see it, through the front windscreen. wrong with this product. It's good. Right. That'll do. Imran's wheel acid is pretty good actually. That's a pretty good product. Let's grab a towel. Don't need to use like a quick detailer or a drying aid with this. Fresh zinging protection. Just dunk that down there and pull it. Yeah, that's the nice thing about when you when you use this sort of stuff. The car dries really nice. Feels really good. I sort of see these as mass market products really. The towel's got wet quickly there. But for a car like this, these products to me do make a lot of sense. I'm drying this down and the paintwork feels amazing now. Like it's got a layer of oil on it or silky slickness. Apart from that bit where the paint's falling off. All this feels amazing. Great. That does look like it's shining up now. Look at that. That's really good. Yeah. I would happily wash my car with this, but I would use it on the Golf because I'm lazy. I think, well, I'll wait till I get to go back inside. Do not, well, this isn't an example of how to detail a car, obviously. This car does not get detailed. It just gets ruined, damaged. That's good enough. As long as I get all the water off the panels, there's a bit of water still on that roof. Right, let's just do a quick, wheels are wet, quick turbo walk around. See, this car, even though it's crap, what I've just done to it with that product is absolutely perfect. I just sprayed it on, you know, worked it, rinsed it off. The paintwork is slick, the car's easy to dry, the car's looking nice and glossy. Paintwork feels good. Still a little bit of dampness there, but yeah, it feels nice. But it's how the towel feels on it. And now I can drive that car around and not feel like a tramp. It's just a normal car in the herd. Apart from that big bit of failing paint, I will probably get that sorted. Yeah. Not cleaning the glass, haven't done a very good job with the wheels. But from a simple point of view, you could drive around in that and people will think, yeah, it's a clean Golf. Don't care about, still some water in there, don't care about that. There we go, let's go and do our summary. So, like all Carpro products, Carpro HydrO2 is a good product. Do not use it in a bucket. Everyone knows you don't use it as a hand wash. I would just remove that concept almost, or correct the PIR thing or whatever's going on with that 1 in 9. Get that corrected, fix the typo down there. Emphasise best results are perhaps used within a foam lance. And I think with these ceramic shampoos, they're almost sold to us as an alternative to the normal shampoo. So you've got a normal shampoo, you can wash your car. Now you've got a ceramic shampoo, you can wash your car and protect it at the same time. And you can. Most of the time though, I think the thing that these brands have missed, although Carpro haven't missed it, they've got it wrong. But a lot of the times, the ratios of these products, as you use them in the bucket, were tiny. So there were some, I think, even like the Gilm was used 17 mil of product, I think 15 to 20 mil of product in a bucket, so around 17 mil. They don't perform well, none of them. when you're using small amounts in the bucket, because they don't foam. So it feels like you're washing your car with like a rinseless wash almost. It's flat. It doesn't feel like it's cleaning well, and it's got the same detergent, you know, quality as a normal shampoo with any of these ceramics. So they do tend to work better as wash your car first, then spray this over when it's still wet, and then dry your car off, and you've covered it. And when you do that, they make sense and you get good results. The reason I don't tend to use them is because I'm so into detailing. Plug for him around there. I'm so into it that I tend to put something down on my paintwork. I tend to put something down on my glass. I tend to put something down on my wheels and my tyres. I tend to have a ceramic coating on my trim or a dressing. And I don't really want to put a blanket over the entire car when I've got my little regime. And I've got all these products that I've picked in each category that really last a long time and perform. Because it muddies the water for me, putting a big film over it. So that's quite a specific thing. But for normal people with a normal car, that may have a pressure washer and a snow foam lance, I think these products could make a great addition, especially now in the winter. And I think Carpro HydrO2 is as good as any of them when you use it in the snow foam lance at 1 to 9. It feels like quite a rich formulation. There's a lot of whiteness there. It's not all thick and foamy, but it's a lot of concentration of material in there. And I could see why you'd need to be careful in the sun with it. So just make sure you don't use it in the heat. Put it on, nice blanket over there, work it if you want to, or clean the car first, rinse it off. And I promise you, if you do that, your car paintwork should look pretty shiny and should dry off really nice, and it will leave a little siloxane cocktail on the surface that is going to protect the car for a few months. And that's what you get. You can't bypass any of the detailing rules with them. So if you've got a minging car where the paintwork feels rough after you've washed it, then you put this product on, the paintwork's still not going to feel great, and you've got to clay it and polish it and all that stuff. They don't bypass any of the rules. They're not miracle products, but they are very, very rapid, very good, and can be used, and they make a lot of sense for stuff like my Golf. They do also make a lot of sense for maintaining stuff. So Carpro, for example, are a coating detailing company, aren't they? They're starting off into coatings and big, you know, they don't sell you wax or any of that sort of stuff. They're coatings. And if you have a coating on your car, no matter what coating it is, it still loses hydrophobic performance. You know, after 6 months, a coating can look pretty much dead, some of them. If it's a 2 or 3 year coating, some of them can look dead after 6 months. They're not dead, they're still on the panel, but they're just buried in all sorts of mineral deposits and God knows what, dirt. You know, so there is this side that if you're going to put a coating on, you maintain your car properly, wash it regularly to keep that stuff. Don't let it build up. And maybe every 3 or 4 months, use a product like, what's it called, HydrO2, to just sit on top of the coating and keep the beading going. You know, so you feel like you've still got a really well protected car, because however good coatings are, and I just think of coatings as a harder bonding material that just lasts longer. That's it. The downside is they're more expensive to buy. The preparation for them is more involved. If you hurl it on and do a terrible job, you know, put it on thick, leave it on too long before you buff it or something, you could make a mess of the paintwork and need to remove it, but you'd have to be real silly. They're so easy to apply nowadays. So yeah, maintenance on coated cars, yes. A quick top up to protection, yes. But ceramic shampoos generally are what they are. They're not miracle products. They're quite a good way of getting protection down very rapidly. This is as good as any, really. Again, we always just split the atom, and for me, from doing this for 10 years, and when you go and get a whole load of products and you've got them all in front of you and you compare them, you'd almost expect like these brands to be within like 10-15% price of each other. You know, like the cheaper ones are 10% less, the expensive ones are like 10% more. But often when we do these tests, we find like the cheapest one compared to the most expensive one the most expensive one is not like 10% more expensive, it's like 15 times more expensive. And that's where I lose kind of a bit of faith in this, that the pricing isn't consistent. For example, in the car market, you know, BMW, Audi, Mercedes would all have to price in a similar way, even though their prices are all going up. But you couldn't get, say, a BMW 3 Series, say they were selling that for 50,000, Mercedes wouldn't then be selling their C-Class equivalent for $1 million. It might be 55,000 or whatever. So the scaling of the prices when detailing sometimes is just bonkers. And when it is bonkers, it's my job to point out when it's bonkers. Unfortunately, when you do that, yeah, it just seems to ruffle feathers and stuff. But that's what we've got to do. It's part of the job of the channel. Yeah, I like HydrO. I like HydrO2. How does it compare to something like Touch-On? Well, this is good. Touch-On's going to be cheaper. And I think you use about 60 mil of this, don't you? Oh, is that touchless? Is it? Oh, is that Touch-On? No, it's Touch-On pressure washer. Add 30 mil to your lance and top up with 300. Oh no, it's a similar ratio, really. It's roughly a similar ratio. So that's 1 to 10, isn't it? That's 1 to 10. Carpro's 1 to 9, similar sort of thing. So it really come down to how much does a litre of Touch-On cost to half a litre of Carpro. So you'd have to convert that up or convert that down, either way. So you could do a price comparison on that, which we did. And I believe the Carpro was a lot more expensive, but they all do a similar thing. You know, they all do, if you wash your car with this, it will look the same. You know, you'll get a similar sort of experience, and then you'll move it around and you'll dry it, and the water will come off the car nice and easy. So they all do a very, very similar thing. So there isn't usually a massive difference in durability with these spray rinses. There can be a difference in concentration, because you can play that game. You can play that game, and we picked up on a couple of products that were playing that game. I think I've got to be careful when I'm talking about stuff without the exact data, but I think from the top of my head, Maguire's and Turtle Wax were requiring you to use a lot more product. So their concentrations weren't as low, and I think you had to use a ton of the Turtle Wax ceramic shampoo, like a ton of it in comparison. But the cost of the bottle was very cheap, but the actual cost of the wash was actually high. So there can be a bit of that going on where you think it's cheap and it's actually expensive. So I always do that due diligence and cost per wash and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this Carpro product's absolutely fine. Funny enough, I think the Armour All product was the one that won. Because again, you spray it on, you get a decent experience, it beads up. It was pretty well priced. But I just really, with some of these detailing products, it wouldn't matter which one you use. It's a bit like the rinseless washers. It won't matter which ones you use. You know, I'm going to make sure I use all of this DIY one because it costs a fortune and I want to use it. I like the product, but once I've used it all up, I won't buy it again because it's so expensive. I'll get my money's worth out of it though. And it's the same with a lot of these products I get. And then I come back to kind of these ones in the bottle are all like the bulk ones that I tend to use. I've got Traceless in there. I've got Atom Max, which I don't tend to use much. I've got Cleanser Fluid, which is a product that I wouldn't really be without. It's really handy. It's great for removing metal polish. It's hydrocarbon, but it's mild. That's hydrocarbon, the EU. I'm just using that up. That's Koch. That's very strong. You need to be very careful with it. You know, I'll go back to TARDIS when I've used that up. That's Rupes Panel Wipe. That's water. Built Hamber QD. That is what rinseless. I don't know which one I got in there. Some rinseless in there. Might be McKee's. That's Carpro Descaler actually. It's empty, so I need to go back there. That's just some random fallout remover. Surfex HD, and I think I'm out of citrus. I can't remember what, that might be the last of my Wax Planet stuff. So yeah, yeah, you know how I roll. And there's an example of a Carpro product which is very hard to beat because it's just such a rich concentration and you dilute it down. It's very difficult to actually use that product up, because if I decant it, you know, at 1 to 5 or whatever, I don't know, yeah, I think it's like 1 to 5 or something. It's quite good on ratios. Yeah, 1 to 5 for an interior dash dressing. You know, dashboard leather, interior 1 to 5. So 200 ml makes a litre. A litre of that dressing lasts such a long time, because you just tend to prime out your microfiber pad and cover your interior, and you hardly use any product. So detailing, you can get all, if you shop around and you know all the different brands and where those good concentrates are and stuff, you can actually get really high quality products that don't cost you a fortune. If you don't know what you're looking at and you don't know the rough prices on the market, you can just see something and think, that looks good, I'll go and buy it, and you don't even ask the question. You know, then if you're like that with things in life generally, not just detailing, if you're uninformed, you end up just paying for things that are inflated prices and stuff like that. And I like to be informed in life, not with just detailing, with everything. Typically, yeah, everything. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Over and out. Doug.